Today I've got a quick update for you about Carnival itineraries. We're going to talk about an announcement that Princess made today. We need to talk about what is going on with Mexico and what is going on with Norwegian, a little bit more on that. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Monday. It is December 9th of 2024, and this evening we are going to do our live on time. We'll be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so come, bring your questions, and be ready to have a fun time talking about cruising and traveling to do with cruising. So let's start at the very top with just a quick update that I've got for you about what's going on with Carnival Cruise Lines. So at the end of last week, actually on December 6th, Carnival Cruise Line announced that they needed to tweak some of the itineraries on 8 of their different ships. And as I read through these, some of them is just switching the date that you're going to call in different ports. Here and there is a different port. And you know what I think? I think that a lot of it is an improvement. I guess it depends on what your view of the port is, but rarely is the port switched. Usually it's just a different day. And so I thought I would let you know that of those 8 ships, it's the Carnival Celebration, the Carnival Sunshine, the Vista, the Magic, the Sunrise, the Spirit, the Pride, and the Frenzy. One of the changes that I thought actually was pretty good is on the Carnival Sunshine. This is for their sailing November 9th and November 15th of 2025. They will be calling it Half Moon Cay rather than in Bimini. So on the cruise that I just barely went on the Celebrity Ascent, one of our port calls was Bimini. I was going to get off, but I ended up being so busy that day, and I kind of do things differently when Gordon's not with me. I ended up being so busy that day trying to get caught up with work and the meetings that I have that I didn't get off the ship. But I did talk to some people that had time to do that, and from everything everyone shared with me, everything about Half Moon Cay, I think will give you a lot more to do and really an improved experience. So that's just what I think. I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you in the comments who have been to Bimini and Half Moon Cay, and let us know what you think, okay? Now, next up, it's a big deal actually that Princess has just reported that they had record-breaking booking days from their Black Friday through their Cyber Monday sales. They point to the strong demand overall in the industry as well as for their product on Princess Cruises. So I thought that was a good sign. I always think that it's better when you know you want to go on a cruise, get it booked, because you never know what's going to be going on with demand for that cruise. If the price goes down later, 9 times out of 10 you can get that lower price, and if it never goes down, you know you're going on that cruise. So I do advocate booking a cruise when you know that you want to go, but I also advocate sliding in extra cruises when you can go, or if you didn't think you're going to be able to go and suddenly you can go in a year, you should go. So I wanted to tell you that in association with that record-breaking sales announcement for that time period by Princess, I have been doing a lot of research trying to find out what the market and all of the movers and shakers think in all of the news publications, the business industry there, as far as what they are seeing to look forward to with a change in leadership at Princess. I also have been looking for a lot about Holland America. I have not really found a lot about what they expect for Holland America yet, so I'm going to keep digging on that. But I thought I would let you know that out of all of the articles that I have read, most of them truly reflect what is really summed up very nicely in an article on Forbes on their website. And the name of it is How Will Carnival Leadership Shake Up Change Princess Medallion Class? And so it seems like mostly people are wondering what's going to happen with the medallion when we have a change in leadership, because John Paget was the one that came initially to Princess with that medallion idea, and so he wasn't the president then, but since was made the president, so everybody's wondering what's going to happen. And so my 2 cents, I'm going to tell you what they say, but my opinion is it's not going anywhere. My great hope is that the new president, as he takes over, will have a renewed urgency to work out the glitches in the app and make that medallion class experience what was really intended to be. So the highlights from that article, and so the reason I'm telling you this is I want to get your input in the comments. This is really important because we all cruise Princess so much. So first of all, they talk about, and I think it's awesome the person wrote this article has actually cruised on Princess, because you don't always get that. And so this person talked about when they have been on Princess, one thing they have noticed is they are often not called by name. Like when they walk up to a bar, when they are seated as at dinner time, and the crew member who is waiting on them, bringing them their drinks, their food, doesn't address them by name often. And so he's like, does this not show up, or are there so many people that show up on their list of guests and they really can't see who they're talking to, or is it just a thing they don't bother to take the time to see who you are? And so that is one thing. A little bit more of that personalized service does point out the thing that we have noticed a lot, that every time you order a drink, like you're at dinner, you want a Diet Coke, they always ask me my cabin number. And I have my medallion on, and I would think that it would pop up who I am with my picture. So I don't know if there's a glitch in that or what, but when they ask you your cabin number, there is always that really easy chance that they can mishear you, and then they charge the wrong cabin for your drink. So they're hoping that. And then finally, all the glitches with the app. The app truly does have a lot of glitches, and so hopefully moving forward, they'll just come in already to help solve some of those glitches with the app. But I do want to say, after having just sailed on Celebrity twice, and what I hear from other people, other apps have glitches too. Just putting that out there. They're not the only ones that their app has a glitch. So just thought I would tell you about this, and I truly, honestly look forward to hearing what you think in the comments and what you're looking forward to the most. The new president of Princess has taken over. John Padgett, though, will stay through the beginning of February. That smooth transition thing is what they've got in mind, I'm sure. Alrighty, now Norwegian. So Norwegian, and then we're on to Mexico. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed yet, will you please hit that subscribe button? We need to have you with us. And if you appreciate my updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? So Norwegian, Gordon reminded me that on one of the earnings calls this year, as they were talking about Norwegian, where they were standing with everything, they were pointing out that they really wanted to cut costs on board. And so as we think about that with the changed itineraries that they've done, bringing ships back from a lot of places in the world just simply to sail out of locations here in the United States, predominantly for the Caribbean, I think that they are looking, as I mentioned, not only at their bottom line with not spending so much money on gas, but it also begs the question. So here's the question. When you are on a cruise out of the Caribbean, or even let's add out of Mexico, because that's what a lot of our West Coast people would do, the same way our East Coast people would do the Caribbean. Do you spend more or less on board? As far as excursions, anything that you buy on board, whether it's drinks, whether it's whatever on board, do you spend more when you're on those cruises, or do you spend more when you are abroad, when you are going somewhere fancy, like to Norway, or to, where else did they pull some ships back, Southeast Asia, South America? Do you spend more on those kinds of cruises? Let me know what you think, because really what they're doing begs the question of where do people spend more money and the best way to optimize their ships. So let me know what you think. Now let's talk about what's going on with Mexico. So at the end of last week, Mexico confirmed that they are going to be charging a $52 per passenger fee for guests who come on a cruise ship to Mexico, and it doesn't matter if you get off the ship or not. Even if you are staying on the ship the whole trip, you're never going to get off in Mexico. You still have to pay that $42 fee. They initially said it was going to start, come into be effective on January 1st. And then the cruise industry said, hang on just a minute. And one of the people that I think really had a lot to do with this is the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association. They talked to Mexico, sent a letter to the president there, and as a result of that, they are now going to make that go into effect in July rather than on July 1st rather than on January 1st. And so here are a few things, and I have so many questions for you today, but these are important things. So when it comes to a $42 tax, here's what I think, and I want to know what you think. So in the letter that the president of the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association wrote to the president, they pointed out that adding that additional tax to everything that they already pay, because Mexico ports, their port fees and taxes are higher than they are in the Caribbean ports, it would make it 213% more expensive to go to those Mexican ports than to the average Caribbean port. And so you read all of these analysts' information and what they're going to think about what this is going to do to tourism in Mexico. A lot of them say, oh, it's not going to make a difference. But you know what I think? I think it maybe is, because you have some people that travel and that extra $42, $84 per couple, you think of going down on a cruise to Mexico, you think, well, maybe that's not a big deal. But then you have people who are going on a budget and they're like, you know what, I'm going to go to the Caribbean instead, or I'm going to take a California coastal cruise rather than a cruise to Mexico, because it doesn't matter to me where I'm going. I am going on a cruise. I'm happy to see whatever ports I go to. The other thing that I think really stands out is a lot of these companies, and then we're going to get to the most important thing, a lot of these cruise lines take families, and you start thinking of adding $42 a person for a family of 5, all of a sudden you've added a big chunk to their family vacation budget. Either they're going to have money they're not going to be able to spend on other things, or they're going to go on a cruise to the Caribbean. The most important story in all of this, I really truly believe, is what Mexico is doing to Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean just committed within the last couple of months to doing their Coco Cay, their version of that in Mexico. They bought from the developer there the port area of Costa Maya, so that was going to belong to Royal Caribbean now. They're going to be developing it so that in 2027 they're going to open Perfect Day Mexico. And as a thanks for doing that and bringing all of that tourism to that area, which is no small thing, that is huge, what Royal Caribbean is doing for that region, instead of just like welcoming them with open arms, they're now going to charge an extra $42 per person to bring people there. And so I think that's kind of a kick in the stomach to Royal Caribbean from Mexico. That's maybe a little bit tough, but let me know in the comments what you think about that. I will look forward to seeing you this evening at our live, and I'll see you here tomorrow. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.